Good morning. It's Vijay here. Today is the last day of this calendar year 2024. So, today is a time to reflect on what's happened during the year and what we may expect next year. But that I leave it for my weekend commentary. But let's just look at what happened yesterday. Typically, I have been warning for a very long time. December is one of those really volatile months, and generally it closes positive for Indian markets. This volatility is not only in case of India; it's also all over the world. This volatility we see. So yesterday we had a very volatile day. What could have been the reason for that volatility? We always try to find some reason as to what could be the reason for why markets behave the way they did. Normally, the reasons may not be very strong with just what we think, but something else may be at play. I think yesterday's volatility, we had a volatility of about 1100 points in Bank Nifty and about 300 points in the Nifty. So this would have caught a lot of traders off guard. Luckily, we had closed all our long positions by around 11:30, so we escaped the volatility. I was expecting volatility to be there in the last 1 hour because yesterday was the rebalancing of the indices. So generally, on a day when there is a rebalancing of indices, last half an hour, for instance, will be very volatile, and the price movements also will be accentuated because the volumes will be high because of the transfer of shares between the operators and the funds. So that I was expecting between 3 and 3:30, but I did not expect the volatility to begin at around 12:30. And while we were lucky, I think a lot of people were caught on the wrong foot. I assume that this could be the reason. That is, RBI report talked of risks in retail lending and rising write-offs. Actually, this is nothing new. RBI has been warning, but when it comes as a form of a year-end report, then I think people take it seriously, and so that volatility may still seep into today's trading. So, what are the cues this morning? Nifty, which was gaining for 2 days. In fact, in the last 6 days, Nifty has gained 3 times and lost 3 times. So it's even Stevens for the year-end traders. Volumes were low, very low at around only about 70 crores, 70,000 crores at around 2:30. But by the end of the day, they had doubled to about 1,40,000 crores. That was the extent of volume transfer as far as the rebalancing was concerned. So you had Hindalco and Tata Motors, which came down, and then Nifty Midcap closed with the only index which closed in the green. Irida and Vodafone Idea led, and we had talked about Vodafone Idea doing well because the parent company, had paid in the requisite amount, and made things easier for Vodafone India. Pharma was the #1 gainer. We talked of Pharma yesterday as our title, and Lupin, for instance, made an all-time high, and all pharma stocks, actually all the three pharma stocks which I had put up for display yesterday, all of them did very well. But that is expected because you see, pharma is the only sector which may not get affected by so-called Trump machinations, because that is core to American health. So I expect pharma to continue to gain strength, and more people getting into pharma, especially the big funds. IT advanced again because rupee weakened to a record low, which is not something new, but nevertheless that's what happened. Realty declined for the second session. Auto was going up for the last 3 sessions. It suddenly slumped. PSU Bank declined for a second session. Nifty Metal hit a 1-month low. A lot of people are stuck in metal because general feeling is that something good will come from Government of India as far as tariffs are concerned. I suspect it will be, even if it comes, I doubt it will come. Even if it comes, it will be too weak, too little, too late, as they call it. So I am not bullish on metals. I have not been bullish for quite some time. I've been bullish on banks as well as pharma. Pharma is my #1 sector. In fact, 6 out of 10 stocks which we hold are now in pharma. So Nifty Energy also declined. There was no great shakes as far as Reliance was concerned on Dhirubhai Ambani's birthday. So it didn't. Reliance actually came down. And then what happened in the US markets? US markets collapsed. Dow Jones at one point of time was close to 700 points, and then it fought back. And in the last 10 minutes, again, it fell 100 points from where it fell, 170 points from where it fell. So Dow Jones was weak, Nasdaq was weak, everything was very weak yesterday, and there was no news. The only news was that volatility, volumes were low, so therefore the volatility increased. I checked up last year what happened to Dow Jones in the last 6-7 days. Last year also was very volatile and it was quite weak, but it picked up in the first week of January. Even we too had volatility, but we closed slightly in the positive in the last week. We just have one day. So today has to be a spectacular day for it to really close good for the week. But I'm saying 5 trading days. But I don't know because the gift nifty is showing much lower levels. So treasury yields came down. That is good sign. Then dollar suddenly had shot up, DXY. But then by the end of the day, it fell below 108. At one point of time, it had gone to 108.40. Gold and silver were in a narrow range. So as soon as you got the RBI report, you have a foreign brokerage which downgrades microfinance companies, and they expect slippages to continue. So nothing new, because microfinance companies like Bandhan, even IndusInd Bank, they've all fallen significantly. So I think the worst is over. Even if the results come, they will not be that great, but that will be, as they say, market would have discounted it. So they are neutral on Bandhan Bank, which has got 46% of the book on MFI, IndusInd Bank, which has got only about 9%, and already they've started selling their old MFI loans. And AU Bank, which is had got about 7% on in the MFI book. So those three stocks will again probably be in focus today. And HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, and Federal Bank is what they like. And SBI and SBI cards, they have said you should sell. SBI is somehow strangely weak. I don't know why. We don't hold SBI. We hold Canara Bank in our portfolio. But nevertheless, they prefer HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank. HDFC Bank also has been weak for the last 15 days after it hit a new high. So that is something to be watched in tune with Reliance, to see whether Nifty can go up. Otherwise, if those two stocks are weak today, as they look as we start, I don't know whether the market will really go up much. There's a very interesting report on power. This is one sector which we have bought into, KEC International and the cables companies. They look good. So this is the demand has gone positive in November and accelerated in December, which was declining between August to October. So I think the power sector companies, especially the cable companies, should do well. In fact, KEC International talked of extraordinary amount of orders which they have received. So that looks a very interesting stock to watch. So apart from the base unit and all that, they are talking of the capacity increasing. So NTPC looks interesting, but somehow NTPC has been the weakest of the power stocks for some strange reason. The IEX prices are low, which means IEX is not doing well, that we have observed, and so profitability there may get affected. So here is a rewind from Morgan Stanley. Sensex made a new high in 8 of the 12 months in 2024, which is great. But as I mentioned yesterday, Nifty and Sensex, both of them have hardly gone up by about 9% in the entire year. But if you look at pure statistics, which is far away from reality, but statistics are statistics, it showed that as if 2024 was a great year, which it was not if you're having a portfolio of about 30 stocks. MSCI index, that it went up to 4. That was an improvement over 2023 and 2022, which was about 9 and 12. So that is good for 2025. 7 out of 10 sectors delivered positive returns in 2024 as far as MSCI sectoral indices are concerned, which is good. And I think it will only get better in 2025, at least in the first 3-4 months. 2024, they talk about FI has just bought $14 million. This, when you say equity markets, it also includes IPO. So therefore, that net buying of $21 billion in 2023 was there. That was more of IPOs there. Even here, we have got a lot of IPOs. Otherwise, in the secondary market, 2024 was a net negative as far as the foreign institutional investors were concerned. Domestic institutions, of course, bought and tried to match FIIs. Then market volatility rose from multi-year lows, is what they mentioned, which is true. Throughout the year, volatility was there. and it peaked out, and it is going up and up. Even in December we are having, and hopefully we will ring out the volatility in 2025. But this is what it is. Valuations also have risen year on year, but they also talk of relative to EM index, it is down. INR depreciated about 2.7%. As I keep mentioning, we have simply held INR at a particular level. We should have allowed it to depreciate 5%, which is the normal course. 5 to 7% is a secular decline, which we have seen in rupee. But this time the RBI, I think, made a grave error by trying to hold it and make it look strong, which has eroded some part of our forex reserves. And equity issuance went up, is what they say. And GIFT Nifty, of course, is lower, because GIFT Nifty is just what happens in the US. It just reflects. So therefore, one can expect a lower opening. But I think it will be a script-specific market today. Volumes will be low. They don't even have any year-end considerations. Yesterday was there. So I would be surprised if you get more than 85,000 crores volume today. Our volumes also will be low. I'm trying to do as less as possible today and tomorrow, because volatility will be high because of low volumes. But whatever you do today, I hope it is successful. Thank you for joining.